Inside a packed Florida courtroom, a 19-year-old woman smirks as a judge reads out the charge: vehicular manslaughter. Her friend is dead. Her blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. And yet, she laughs. Not once, but twice. Cameras capture the moment. The judge pauses mid-sentence. Even the victim's mother gasps. But the smirk only widens. Was it arrogance? Or something darker, a complete absence of remorse? Meet Jessica Crane, a bright, popular Florida teenager whose Instagram was filled with sunshine, surfboards, and selfies. She wasn't a criminal. She wasn't violent. But one summer night in 2017, she made a choice that would destroy everything. Jessica had just graduated. To celebrate, she and her best friend Maya Torres went drinking near Daytona Beach. At 2:47 a.m., a highway camera captured her white Mustang swerving across lanes. 30 seconds later, impact. Maya died instantly. Jessica survived with only a few scratches. When officers pulled her from the wreck, her first words weren't, "Is my friend okay?" They were, "Oh my God, my dad's gonna kill me." That moment, that sentence, would define her forever. Prosecutors painted a chilling picture. Jessica's phone had video clips recorded moments before the crash, laughing, singing, drinking in the driver's seat. The final clip ended with a scream. When the footage leaked, the internet erupted in outrage. But what truly haunted people came months later: the trial. During testimony, witnesses wept as they described the scene. Family members clutched tissues, unable to look at the defendant's table. Jessica? She smiled. One reporter noted. It was as if she was watching a comedy show, smirking, twirling her hair, whispering jokes at her attorney. The prosecutor stopped mid-sentence once, turning toward her. "Ms. Crane, do you find any of this funny?" Her reply, quiet but unmistakable: "Not really." The courtroom fell silent. It was one of those rare, chilling moments when everyone realized this wasn't nerves. This was detachment. Stay tuned as we unravel this mystery, and click that subscribe button now, cause this true crime series would send chills down your spine. Detectives dug deeper. They found deleted text from the night before. "I drive better drunk than sober, LOL." The public demanded justice. Maya's parents pleaded for the maximum sentence, 15 years. But Jessica's defense argued she was a scared kid, remorseful but misunderstood. So the prosecution did something few expected. They played the uncut police body cam footage from the night of the crash. The courtroom lights dimmed. The projector flickered to life. Jessica stood on screen, leaning against the hood of a patrol car. Behind her, flashing lights, twisted metal, Maya's lifeless body under a sheet. And yet, she was laughing. "At least my makeup's still on," she said. Gasps filled the courtroom. Maya's mother collapsed in tears. Even the judge's face hardened. When the video ended, the prosecutor said quietly, "Ladies and gentlemen of a jury, that is not remorse." But Jessica wasn't the only one. Across the country, other trials had captured the same chilling truth. People capable of horrific acts showing zero emotion when confronted with what they'd done. From cold-blooded murderers to careless killers, each case revealed something disturbingly human. Remorse isn't guaranteed. Sometimes it's completely absent. And what happens in a courtroom when the world sees that absence? Because next, we go inside another courtroom. This time, in Ohio, where a young man, convicted of executing his own parents, looks straight into the camera and smiles, right before his sentencing. No tears, no tremor in his voice, just a chilling calm. And what he says next makes even the judge question whether evil can ever be rehabilitated. Imagine this. A packed Ohio courtroom. A 21-year-old man walks in, shackled, calm, almost casual. He's about to be sentenced for killing both his parents in cold blood. Reporters whisper. The air feels heavy. But as the judge begins to speak, he does something no one expects. He smiles. A slow, chilling grin that seems to say, I won. That moment becomes one of the most disturbing clips ever circulated online. But what drove him there? And what could make someone face life in prison with a smile? His name was Tyler Browman, 21 years old, from the quiet suburbs of Columbus, Ohio. Neighbors described him as polite, reserved, the kind of kid who mowed lawns and waved at everyone. But underneath that quiet surface was a storm brewing for years. Police reports later showed a history of domestic conflict, shouting matches between Tyler and his father, Greg, a retired police officer. Tyler's mother, Donna, always tried to keep the peace. She loved her son deeply, even as his temper grew darker, his eyes colder. Friends noticed he'd started talking about purging toxic people from his life. Nobody realized he meant it literally. It happened on a Saturday night in June 2019. Greg and Donna were having dinner when an argument erupted. Tyler had been drinking in the basement, playing violent video games, when his father confronted him about a recent arrest for vandalism. Neighbors later told detectives they heard a burst of yelling followed by 2 sharp cracks. Then silence. When police arrived, they found Greg slumped over his dining chair, a bullet wound through his chest. Donna was on the kitchen floor, a single shot to the head. And Tyler? He was sitting on the front porch, waiting. When officers approached, he simply said, "You took too long." The interrogation tape became infamous. For 3 hours, detectives tried to get Tyler to explain what happened. He never cried, never looked away. When asked if he regretted it, he shrugged. "They were holding me back," he said. "Now I'm free." Psychologists would later call it narcissistic detachment, the inability to see his parents as real people once they challenge his control. But the most chilling part came during his court hearings. On the first day of trial, Tyler's defense claimed mental instability. They said he was unwell, not evil. But the prosecution played his jailhouse calls. In them, Tyler bragged to another inmate about the look on his dad's face. He even laughed. Man, he didn't even see it coming. Just dropped his fork. You could hear gasps ripple through the courtroom. Even seasoned reporters admitted they'd never seen anything like it. When it was time for the verdict, Tyler stood expressionless until the judge read the words "life in prison without parole." Then came the smile. Wide, calm, eerie. He looked straight into the camera lenses pointed at him and whispered something under his breath. Reporters later enhanced the audio. Guess I win after all. Stay tuned as we unravel this mystery, and click that subscribe button now, cause this true crime series would send chills down your spine. What makes someone so calm in the face of judgment? Is it arrogance or the absence of a conscience? Psychologists debate whether people like Tyler feel remorse differently or not at all. His smile wasn't rebellion. It was victory in his mind. But what truly stunned America wasn't just his case. It was what came next. Because in another courtroom, Just weeks later, another killer would make headlines for something eerily similar. This time, a young woman convicted of stabbing her classmate 37 times, and laughing as the verdict was read. Her name was Lydia Crane, and her courtroom behavior would redefine the meaning of remorseless. As the prosecutor read the autopsy report, she giggled. When the judge delivered the sentence, she winked. And when asked if she felt sorry, her answer chilled everyone watching. Why should I? She'd have done the same. Soon we dive into the shocking case of Lydia Crane, and how her eerie lack of empathy left even hardened detectives speechless. Camera pans across a silent courtroom. The air feels suffocating, a mix of perfume, paper, and fear. At the defense table sits a young woman, slender, calm, almost graceful. Her hands folded neatly, her lips curled into a soft smile. Her name, Lydia Crane, convicted of stabbing her classmate 37 times. And as the judge reads her sentence, life without parole, she begins to laugh. Not hysterically, not out of shock, but a quiet, knowing giggle that spreads through the room like poison. Even seasoned officers shift uncomfortably. One juror covers their mouth, because in that moment, it's clear. There is no remorse left inside her. Lydia grew up in Spokane, Washington, an honor student, bright, articulate, artistic. Teachers called her a prodigy with words. But behind that calm exterior was a darkness that no one wanted to see. She was obsessed with perfection, top grades, top image, top control. And when someone threatened that image, she snapped. That someone was Riley Bennett, her best friend turned rival. Both 17, both top of their class, and both dating the same boy, though only Lydia knew it. Jealousy brewed quietly. Then, one night, it exploded. On April 14th, 2021, Riley's parents reported her missing after she failed to come home from a late-night study session. Police traced her phone to a wooded trail near the Spokane River. There, under a bridge, they found her body, brutally stabbed, her backpack tossed aside. It didn't take long to connect the dots. A trail of Snapchat messages led straight to Lydia. The final message from Lydia's account read, "Let's settle this once and for all." When police confronted her at school the next morning, she didn't resist. She just looked up from her locker and said, "Took you long enough." During interrogation, detectives expected denial, panic, anything resembling emotion. But Lydia treated it like a job interview. She corrected the detective's grammar mid-question. She yawned during the evidence review. And when shown a photo of Riley's body, she leaned in and whispered, "I didn't think it'd be that messy." Detectives called her the coldest juvenile we've ever processed. But the real shock came during trial preparation. Her journal, recovered from her bedroom, revealed chilling entries. "I want to feel something when I hurt her. Anything. If I don't, does that make me broken?" It was a question that haunted prosecutors and psychologists for months. The trial drew national attention. News outlets compared Lydia's demeanor to a smiling mannequin. She never cried, never fidgeted, only watched, expressionless, as Riley's parents testified about losing their daughter. When the prosecution displayed photos from the crime scene, Lydia tilted her head, almost admiringly. Then came her chance to speak. The judge asked, "Do you have any statement before sentencing?" She looked up, smiled faintly, and said, "I don't feel sorry. I just feel bored." A collective gasp filled the courtroom. Riley's mother screamed from the gallery, "You monster!" Lydia's response? A laugh, light, melodic, almost rehearsed. That laugh would haunt everyone who heard it. The judge, visibly shaken, removed his glasses. He said quietly, "I presided over murder cases for 30 years. I have never seen this level of emotional detachment. Ever." He sentenced her to life in prison without parole. Lydia didn't flinch. Instead, she leaned into the microphone and said, "At least I'll always be remembered." Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed the steps. Psychologists called it performative apathy. Others said it was pure narcissism. But inside that courtroom, one thing was certain: remorse was nowhere to be found. Years later, Lydia's interviews from prison would go viral. In one, she smirks at the camera, saying, "People think I'm evil. Maybe I'm just honest." Her laughter echoes through the speakers, the same laugh that broke the courtroom that day. And yet, despite all the horror, one question lingers. What creates a person who feels nothing for the pain they cause? Is it upbringing, trauma, or something that simply cannot be fixed? Jessica Crane's smirk in Florida, Tyler Browman's grin in Ohio, Lydia Crane's laugh in Washington. Three faces, three courtrooms, three people who stared into justice and felt nothing. And maybe that's what truly terrifies us. Not the crime itself, but the absence of guilt that follows. Fade to black. Gavel echoes one last time. Do you think some people are born without remorse? Or can anyone become this cold under the right circumstances? Let me know in the comments. If this story sent chills down your spine, don't walk away. Subscribe now and hit the bell. Join us as we uncover the hidden truths behind shocking crimes like this one, and see for yourself how appearances can be deadly deceiving. You won't want to miss what comes next.